Hello again. So this video is going to be talking about the NPR media meme. This one I'll probably do a bit more in depth just because they don't list as many people as the other ones. Also, they don't have a pay spin either, so I'll just be going over each person on here, and then I'll be looking at the current NPR leadership board, just people who work there, etc. And also I'll be editing the picture they have to reflect the modern changes that have occurred. But yeah, just to get into it, first we got Howard Wallner. I guess they think he was the head dude. He was the chair of the NPR Foundation, but he's no longer the chair. He's still on the board, but the chair is now led by John McGinn. And I think it's weird because the CEO at the time that he was the chair was Jarl Moan, who is Jewish, but he got replaced by the current CEO, John Lansing, who isn't. Jarl or Jarl, I don't know how to pronounce that. Michael Oreskes was there from 2015 to 2017 and was replaced by Nancy Barnes. And before him was someone named Margaret Lowe Smith, so none of those people are Jewish. John Feinstein has left. Emily Oceanschlager has left. Robert Siegel has retired. Leah Donala is this half Jewish chick, half black. I mean, whatever, they count half people. The dude, Daniel Pinkwater, hasn't been on radio in quite a while, years, so I don't even know why they include him, because this is what they tend to do. They take people from different time periods. He hasn't been on in years, before a lot of these people were even active, or at least in their positions that the meme suggests. Joffrey Nunberg has died, so obviously he's not there anymore. The guy Yitzhak Edelstein, I think it should be David Edelstein. I don't know why they put Yitzhak. I guess because I think it's more Jewy than David, but I mean, whatever, he's a Jew. But he got fired in 2018, so he's not there anymore. Scott Simons half. Lori Kaplan is no longer in that role, but she still works for NPR. The Ophira Eisenberg show, Ask Me Another, that was canceled in 21. Kitman is this random blogger guy. I'm not even sure what he's all about. He wasn't the host of Car Talk or anyone big on Car Talk. I don't even know if he really, whatever, he was a blogger who I guess blogged about Car Talk. I'm not really sure what that even means. This is kind of another thing, they pick random people who I don't know how important some of these people are. A lot of them just aren't important at all. They cover maybe food or sports or a blogger for Car Talk. I don't think it's that important. The co-hosts of Invisibilia have both moved on. They're no longer a part of that podcast and not with NPR anymore. Wallenstein was an occasional commentator on Day to Day, which is now defunct, and he was on I can't even find anything in the 2010s with him. And a similar thing with Carol Wasserman, she hasn't been on in over a decade. Tom Gelton, I don't know how to pronounce that, is retired. People like Tom Goldman, he just does sports in Portland. I don't know how important that is. Linda Gradstein no longer works for NPR. She stopped in 2009. Robert Krulwich has retired. Ulaby is half Jewish, and it's kind of a weird story. She was raised by an Italian mom and an Arab guy, but I guess her technical biological father is some Jewish dude, but that's just a weird one. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna make a little picture showing the X'd out people and stuff, so we'll see what that looks like. So based on what I could fix with this meme, definitely a lot of people have been replaced or retired or just moved on to other things besides NPR. And clearly, the meme people, they take people from different times who weren't working, weren't overlapping during their work period, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? So yeah, I just think it's definitely misleading, always. And I did later, you'll see, I looked at all the people, at least the NPR website list, who worked for them, and I found it was more 10 to 15%, depending how you look at it. And I really do applaud the makers of this meme for wanting proportional representation based on demographics and media. And I definitely think we need to raise POC voices in the media sphere. Because definitely one thing I've noticed is when I'm looking at all these people, there's definitely an underrepresentation of blacks, a little bit, and obviously an overrep of Jews, and even an overrep of Gentile whites based on population statistics, but certainly an underrepresentation of Latinos. So, big props to the people who made this meme. True POC allies. Okay, moving on. And just real quick before I go into the leadership roles in NPR, a lot of these programs, they list too from the meme that oh, this is the host of this program. A lot of these programs have co-hosts. There's not one single host. So yeah, it's just overall just a generally misleading infographic, like always. And so if we look at the NPR board of directors, it's a board of 23, and 12 of those are member directors who manage their own member stations. I couldn't find any Jews among those 12. And then, as I said earlier, the president and CEO, John Lansing, and the chair, John McGinn, are not. And then out of the public members of the board, I counted 3 or 4. Catherine Levine, Wallner, who was listed on the meme, and Zuckerman. And I said possibly 4 because like maybe Judith Segura, but she's Mexican, but she might be like a Mexican Jew. I don't really know. I mean, Judith is kind of like a Jewish name, but I mean, also Hispanics sometimes just have like biblical Old Testament names, whatever. So I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, basically like 3 or 4 at the most out of 23 total, and none in like the leadership roles, at least anymore. And then if we go to the leadership page on the NPR website, again, we have Lansing. And then out of the 33 people listed in the leadership roles, so I counted 2 confirmed and 3 maybes out of 33 people, Joel Zuckerman and Leora Hanser. And then Edith Chapin, Lori Kaplan, and Anya Grundman. And I only have those 3 because I mean they just seem to have like kind of Jewish last names, but again I don't really like using that because I don't even believe there is really such a thing. I mean Grundman is just like German, but a lot of German Jews came to the U.S. I only think Chapin might be is because Edith is like a common Jewish name, but that's not really a great indicator either. So I don't know, like I can only confirm 2 really, so that's not really saying that much out of 33 people, and none seem to be in like the top leadership roles anyway. And then if you just go to like people at NPR on their website, which has almost like 600 people listed, I literally went through like each one, and most did not have like a Wikipedia article or anything like that, obviously, but you could do like an advanced Twitter search on their profiles, which most of them had, thankfully. And I just like typed in like Jewish keywords or whatever to like help me out. Or like some of them, it was just pretty obvious based on their names, which I don't always like to do, but sometimes it's like really obvious, like a Cohen is either a Jew or married to one. And I didn't necessarily look at marriages, but anyway, I'll like tell you what I got at the end. But yeah, I looked at every person's like Twitter basically, and unless they were like obviously like just Asian or obviously like super black, or for Hispanic sounding names, I still looked it up for the most part because like there are Hispanic Latino Jews, but I mean it's pretty obvious when like there's like a dude who's like pretty brown and they're like from Mexico that they're probably not Jewish, because most Jews from Latin American countries are still pretty white looking or white. So anyway, yeah, here are the numbers for that. So out of 595 people listed here, there are 67 that I could confirm were Jewish, and then 8 people who were half, 3 that just like while I was looking, I knew that they were Gentiles but married to a Jew, and then there are like 14 maybes. I just don't know. Like they either had like a Jewish sounding name, but I couldn't confirm anything, or just like something in their Twitter profile, like they said something that like could be construed as them being Jewish. It was obviously this kind of stuff is really difficult. I do think the Twitter profile thing usually does work actually. If you're unsure, you can just, I mean, this is like so fucking crazy, but you could look and do an advanced Twitter search and like put in Jew, Jewish, people bring it up if they're a Jew on Twitter. I don't know. So, but if we go with the low number of like the 67 confirmed, it's like roughly 11%, 595. And then if we take all of them combined, the 67 with the like half people married, and then the maybes, which I'm pretty sure not all of them are Jewish, that's like roughly 15%. So, and that's like, I think at the high end, I mean, I think like somewhere in between is probably like a good spot. I don't think I really missed anyone. And if anything, I overcounted because I was like pretty liberal with, I was trying to find Jews because it just made it more easy, because otherwise it was kind of boring, like just not finding anyone. And like, I don't want to, you know, I understand some people have like very Gentile sounding names, like they never bring up they're Jewish, so who would ever know? But I tried my best, and like I found, you know, a decent amount, I think, like for the most part. Yeah, that's basically what I found. As I was kind of joking about previously, like I did come across like some black people and some like Latino people, Asian people, whatever. I will say for like Latinos, it is funny that they are like there's more Latinos in the US than blacks at this point, but they're like severely underrepresented if we just go off those numbers, and like blacks are kind of underrepresented. I don't know about Asians. I don't really know enough about that, but I just think it's kind of interesting as always to look at this stuff. NPR is headquartered in DC. So, I mean, DC isn't like a super Jewish city like New York is, but I don't think that matters because like they're so spread out anyway in most cities with like foreign respondents and stuff as well. And yeah, I mean, I think the current leadership now is like pretty Gentile, and I don't know, I don't really consider NPR to be like a super Jewy thing. But yeah, that's all I really had to say. If someone really wants to, they could like check my work. I mean, all I did was do like the Twitter search and just, you know, type in their name, see what I could find. I think like definitely people are counted as Jews when they're not, and like, so I don't know, I try not to do that, but also like if there's even a hint, usually I'll just like go with it, unless like, yeah, it has to be like a moderate hint, like it can't just be like a really fake hint. But anyway, that's about it for now, and I will see you next time.